Dear future officers, welcome to Civil Service Aptitude Test, Reading Comprehension classes. This is Raghuram Gowda with you. I have been teaching UPSC aspirants for the past 16 years. Not only that, in this direction, I have cleared all the recent UPSC prelims formats with comfort, confidence and ease. To elaborate, I have cleared UPSC prelims with CSAT and general studies equal weightage. After that, CSAT with English and also CSAT without English format, and the present format where CSAT is just qualifying in nature. In all this format, I have cleared UPSC syllabus prelims with comfort, confidence and ease. And dear students, here I want to note a very important, very pertinent thing with respect to this examination. That is, more than 75% of UPSC aspirants who take up prelims examinations have failed in CSAT examination, especially in 23, 24 and 25. But you can clear this examination with comfort, confidence and ease. But you have to do only two things. What is that? One is that you believe yourself and the other is you believe us. My classes will be one-stop solution. There won't be any need for you to refer any source, any material. If you just listen to my class and follow what I say, it will be more than sufficient. Having said that, let me tell you my approach. My approach is simple yet authentic. What is required? My approach is how UPSC thinks. It's based on how UPSC thinks. How can we gauge as to how UPSC thinks? How to gauge? How to know? It's just following the footprints of UPSC. What are the footprints of UPSC? Syllabus and PYQs. That's it. This was one of the reasons why I was able to clear prelims each time with comfort, confidence and ease. This will be the basis for my teaching. Today's session is systematically crafted so that you take up some of the ideas which are most essential. In this direction, directly, without wasting any time, I will be directly introducing to a very beautiful question which has come in 2024 CSAT, 2025 CSAT. After that, there will be an introduction to reading comprehension, two real stories with respect to CSAT examination. Then most of the students fail in CSAT for one big reason. They don't know what this exam is. They don't know what is civil service, what is aptitude, how it is tested. We'll be elaborating on that. After that, father and mother of UPSC examination. Inevitably, this is the most important thing. How did we come to this world? Because of our parents, our father and mother. Similarly, UPSC questions also have father and mother. They are inevitably your syllabus and PYQs. After that, we will be mastering yet another type of UPSC question which has been asked in 2025. Having said that, let's get started. So I want you to participate. Let us take up a UPSC question. This is the same question on which most of the students have gone wrong. A very simple question, just two lines, just two lines. You can check out the answers. Most of the students and also institutions have given wrong answers. Here we go. Directions for the following items. Read the following passage and answer the item that follow the passage. Your answer to these items should be based on the passage only. Shall we start? Let us see how well you answer. Here we go. Done with? How to approach? How to approach this kind of question? So here majorly most important thing which you have to keep in mind is, for every passage there will be a central idea, there will be a core idea. What is that passage talking about? A passage will be having an idea. To substantiate that, there will be some examples, there will be conclusions. First and foremost, you have to identify the central idea in the passage. Not only that, after that, you should understand and you should identify the central idea in the options also. This should be the basic fundamental first step that has to be done. After that, elimination. Each option should be eliminated based on the relevance. Is this point clear to you? This is one of the most important thing and the basic thing. So what you should be doing? You should understand the core message which is present in the passage, and also what these options deal with. What is the main intent, the core idea you have to identify. Having said that, here we go with the options. Please read these options. This is a UPSC question. Please note down the answer. There is no need for you to tell, just note down. And also note down the answer which you feel will be correct after my explanation. Done with? Let us discuss the things in a systematic way. A network of voluntary associations. So what are voluntary association? What do you understand by voluntary? Means there is no one forcing you. You are voluntarily forming association. Can you name some? Voluntary organizations, NGOs, student organization, civil society organizations, trade unions. So when you join a trade union, when you join a student union, what will be there? There will be loyalty towards that organization, allegiance towards that organization, isn't it? So what is this passage fully about? What is this passage talking about? What is the most important? Say for example, if I ask you to identify the main theme or to sum up the whole thing in one word, what will that be? So to begin with, voluntary organizations include all the spectra of the organizations where you voluntarily associate, like trade organization, student organization. This is acting as a buffer. Voluntary associations stands as a buffer. What do you understand by buffer? Have you heard of buffer stock? Why is buffer stock maintained? To meet the unforeseen situation. What if there is drought? What if there is heavy rain and there is no production? So it's a check, it's a cushion. So they act as a buffer between relatively powerless individual. So here relatively, what does this mean? Are they telling that individual is powerless? Relatively means in relation to what? In relation to what? Yes, relatively means in relation to state. Relatively powerless individual and potentially powerful state. What is a state? State is a sovereign political entity. Why do we have fundamental rights? Because one of the main reason is state is sovereign political entity. It is having all powers. We don't want the rights of the individual to be violated by the state. So we have got fundamental rights. So coming to this point. So at this juncture, what they are saying is voluntary organization acts as a buffer between the individual and the state. The main core theme is individual is weak vis-a-vis the state. The state is all powerful. Voluntary organization act as a buffer. So now let us see the options. First one, it emphasizes the inability of the state to enforce its will in practice against the opposition of certain groups within it. Is this statement correct? Anywhere in the passage, are we dealing with this point? Inability of the state to enforce? It is not at all talking about the abilities of the state. So, first option is not correct. Second one, it is a cooperative organization for the promotion of the well-being and the development of the personality of its members. Is this correct? Is this passage talking about the cooperative organization, thereby promoting the well-being and development of individual? That is not the option. Then what about the next one? It takes individuals out of the state of isolation. So voluntary organizations take individuals out of isolation and gives them a chance to participate in the common endeavor. Is this correct one? So we have to zero down to the one which best explains. Definitely it is correct, but it is not in accordance with the passage. This passage is not talking about the well-being of the individual. It is talking about the power. It is talking about the relative power. Majorly, it is talking about the voluntary organization which act as a buffer between the relatively powerless individual and the state, where you form voluntary associations. Then the last one, it permits citizens to have a variety of loyalties and allegiances. So what is the answer for this? So here, most of the students and most of the institutions have gone with the answer C, but that is the wrong one. What is the main reason? This statement is true, but it is not in the passage. So the answer for this is D. If you have gone right with respect to this, take it from me, your comprehension is very, very good. Most of the students, most of the institutions have taken a lot of time and they have released key. In that key also they have given wrong. You can check out the things are there on the internet. Okay. Coming to CSAT RC introduction. What is reading comprehension? It is having a weightage of 1/3 of the CSAT. This is one of the paper which is neglected by the students and the teachers alike. When we think of CSAT, when we prepare for CSAT, we just concentrate on the numerical aspects. Almost nobody is teaching and also studying RC in a systematic way. In fact, most of the toppers, they say that their strongest area was RC. Most of the people who have clear CSAT, they say that they have got most of the marks from RC. So you should be giving due attention to reading comprehension, which is having 1/3 of the weightage. Reading comprehension is not English. Why? In fact, there was a component of English long before, but in 2015, the English component was removed. How many questions are there in CSAT? Total, how many questions are there in CSAT? 80, but it was in fact 100. Between 2011 to 2015, there used to be 100 questions. After that, 20 questions related to English were removed because people in the North India, they went on strike, many things happened. But in reality, RC is all about thinking. It's all about analyzing. It's all about reasoning, drawing conclusions, drawing corollary. This is one of the most important things. Though colloquially we use the term RC, it is not in fact majorly RC. It is not majorly comprehension. It is not about English. Say for example, we use the term budget. What does the term budget literally mean?
Leather bag.
A leather bag. So what is the meaning we have now? It's set of documents which are presented in the parliament. So similarly, RC is not about, majorly not about comprehension. Comprehension is just a small part. It is more about thinking, analyzing, interpreting. Here we are not just readers, we are investigators. So when you read the passage, you have to investigate. What are the facts? What are the assumptions? What is the analysis? What is the corollary? What is the crux? You have to investigate as to what is the central idea. You have to investigate as to what the author is trying to convey. So we are not passive readers, we are investigators when we are into RC. What is tested in RC? As I already told, it is the understanding and the logical reasoning, analysis, interpretation of the things. It is not at all about English, because the English component has been removed forever to a greater extent after 2015. Passage is the king. In all the questions related to RC, they mention a very important thing. Answer to the questions should be based on the content which is present in the passage. So everything, whatever you prepare, whatever you answer, should be based on what the content is. In this direction, often students have this dilemma. So how to go about? Should we be reading the questions first? Or should we be reading the passage? What is the best way? What is the best way according to you? Dear students, most important, you shouldn't go wrong here. Never ever read the questions first. That may be suitable for, say for example, 10th standard exam. Not for these competitive exams. What happens if you read the question? Your mind will be full of those questions. You won't get the holistic picture. You won't get the real analysis, the real crux of the passage, because your mind will be searching something. You cannot draw meaningful conclusions when your mind is biased. So what you should be doing? You should be reading the passage, afterwards taking the questions, then eliminate based on those things and come to the final answer. Civil Service Aptitude Test. The talk of the town among the UPSC aspirants. For the past 3 years, the results are like very, very unpredictable. In this direction, let me share 2 stories where you will understand the importance of RC and also CSAT. Student X, this is the way in which you have to write in your mains answers also. You shouldn't be writing like my friend Raghu, my friend Ravi, my friend John, my friend Anthony. If you write like that, your marks will be deducted. Many students got marks deducted because there you are indicating something. You are indicating that you belong to certain religion, certain caste. Not only that, on the answer sheet, you cannot use any symbols, cross, swastik, om, you shouldn't be writing. If you write those things, marks will be deducted, right? Student X, who is a IIT graduate, who has attended UPSC interview twice, has failed in last 2 attempts because he has failed in CSAT. Most of the teachers who teach CSAT are IIT graduates. He went to interview, but last 2 attempts he failed because he failed in CSAT. Not only that, one more student who is triple IT graduate, who has already written 3 mains. These are true stories which I have come across. There is no exaggeration. 3 years he has already written mains, mean to say he has already cleared prelims. But for the last 3 years, he is unable to clear prelims. The main reason is he is failing in CSAT. By the end of the session, you will understand why they have failed and what you should be doing. More than 75% of the students have failed in CSAT. One of the main reasons is they have not understood the nature of this examination. Now let us see what is this civil service aptitude test. What is the best way to answer? What is the best way to understand? What is the best way to answer any UPSC question? First, you break the question into keywords. Address each component and the question as a whole. Is this point clear to you? What is the best way, best answer writing way in essay and GS? If there is a question, break the question generally into keywords. Touch each keyword and after that assemble all these things to give a holistic meaning, holistic understanding. In this direction, let us see what is aptitude, what is civil service, what do you understand by civil service aptitude, then how is civil service aptitude tested. What is aptitude? You may be aware by now. Aptitude is that which is inborn, innate. Aptitude is not a skill. I repeat, aptitude is not a skill. What is a skill? Skill is that which you develop by practicing, by repetition, by training. On the other hand, aptitude is that which is natural, inborn, innate. It has come in your blood. It has come through your parents. So it is an inborn potential, not like skill, which you have gained by practice, by repetition, by training. Aptitude is specific to work. It is closely related to intelligence, but it is not the same. Both intelligence and aptitude are mental phenomena, are related to inborn things, but aptitude is related to work. Intelligence, it is not directly related to work. If you are intelligent, it doesn't mean that you can do certain work at certain level. It doesn't tell anything about your aptness for work. It just says about your mental ability. Intelligence will be only mental. On the other hand, aptitude is physical, mental and also both. Say for example, what is the aptitude required to be a good batsman? Inborn potential. What is the inborn potential required to be a good batsman? What does the batsman do in the cricket? He sweeps the ball, right? So he is seeing the ball through eyes and connecting that through hand. So to be a good batsman, hand and also eye coordination are must. If you don't have this hand-eye coordination, you will be thinking that you are sweeping the ball, you are beating the ball, but you are clean bowled. Why? There is no hand and also eye coordination. Similarly, to be a good football player, one should have leg and eye coordination. So it is physical and also mental with respect to intrapersonal skills, with respect to spatial abilities. At the same time, as in civil service, it can be both physical and also mental. Aptitude is future potential. Say for example, if I have got aptitude, it doesn't mean that I can do the work very, very good. Aptitude becomes ability only with training. This is the most important thing. Aptitude is inborn thing. You can have the ability only by training. So it's a great takeaway. Inborn potential but training is equal to 33%. 33% is the marks which you have to get in CSAT. This is fixed. On the other hand, aptitude is inborn potential. Inborn potential, this is also fixed. So you have to identify whether you have got high potential or low potential, high aptitude or low aptitude. If you have got low aptitude, what you should be doing? Increase the training, because this is fixed. If you have got high aptitude, little training is enough to get this one. Here is a famous definition. Aptitude is the natural capacity of an individual to acquire competence or skill that can be done, that can be obtained through training. So here it is a natural capacity to acquire any skill that is related to work that can happen only through training. So these are the three important things which I have to keep with respect to aptitude. What is the takeaway? How can we apply this to the practical situation, our CSAT? Please try to answer this. If you are unable to master a concept in CSAT, or you are finding some concept very, very difficult, a question type, maybe blood relation, maybe seating arrangement, maybe speed. If you are finding this question very, very difficult in spite of practicing, what does this mean? Is my question clear to you? There is a question type. You are trying to master that, but you have failed, or you are finding that very, very difficult. Why? Say for example, if you take the other way, say history. There is a chapter. If you read once, if you read twice, thrice, definitely you will understand. But in CSAT, with respect to aptitude, things are not like that. If you are not able to master that question type, it just indicates that you don't have inborn ability to solve those kind of things, or it is very, very low. Is this point clear to you? So if you are not able to solve a type of question, or you are finding some type of question very, very difficult, then your natural ability in this direction is very less. Okay. So one most important thing what you have to do is, see in CSAT how much marks we are required? 67, 33%, 27 questions. 80 questions have been given. Net 27 is more than sufficient. In that, you have to identify your inborn potential. Is my point clear to you? You have to identify the question types where you have got inborn potential. This is the crux. Once you identify them, definitely out of 80, definitely nearly 50 to 60 questions will be there where you have got proficiency. You can solve this question with comfort, confidence and ease. So I repeat, identify your aptitude by going through PYQs. After that, based on that, training, so that you get minimum 33% of marks required. Civil service. What is civil service? Civil service refers to permanent executive. These are administrative services. These help in policy formulation and also policy implementation. Civil servants are accountable to the political masters, political executive. In executive, we have got two. One is political executive. What are political executive called? Political executives are called political executive, ministers. Permanent executives, civil servants. So, civil servant is ultimately responsible to people through the minister. Okay. Civil servant is one who provides services. Civil service servant is one who is a professional. Who is a professional? What is a profession? Profession is that which requires certain degree of knowledge, certain skill, certain practice. Civil service is a full-time affair. What do you understand by full-time? Have you heard any IAS or IPS officer who says that I will be working from 10 to 6 and afterwards I will be doing a part-time job? It's a full-time job. It is a career service. What do you understand by career service? Career service is one where an individual spends considerable time with respect to his entire life. Considerable part of his life is spent here. And the other thing is, in a career you have got promotion. It may be because of seniority or merit. Civil service doesn't include military, judicial and political officers. In fact, if you go to the origin, civil services came into being to differentiate these services from the military services. Long before, military service was the major service. Civil service came into being to serve the civilian population. So, they are not judicial, military or political officers. Civil service aptitude, what does that mean? Civil service aptitude. What is the meaning of aptitude? Inborn, related to work. So, here what are the inborn qualities which are required for a civil servant who provides services? An IAS officer, an IPS officer. For him, what are the qualities required? Can you guess what are the qualities required? So, it simply means the inborn potential required for a civil servant to serve the people, to form the policy, to implement the policy. Right? So, how are these tested? Civil service aptitude test. How are these tested? Through CSAT exam. Very good. Then, yes, then, very good. So, these are tested by civil service aptitude. The name itself indicates. In all the stages, your aptitude is tested. In preliminary exam, civil service aptitude test, objective type. In the mains examination, GS4, colloquially it is called ethics paper, but majorly it's about aptitude, where problem solving and decision making are tested through subjective questions, and personality test, where your aptitude is tested orally. In all the stages, your aptitude is tested. Okay. So, coming to the most important thing, father and mother. From where do UPSC questions come? Father and mother of UPSC, CSAT, RC questions. Invariably, it is syllabus and the PYQs. Unfortunately, when it comes to CSAT, it is grouped in a very broad way, which is not authentic. So, when we think about CSAT, they group it as one part comprehension, another part reasoning, another part number system. Is this the correct classification? Is this the correct classification? The answer is no. The answer is no. When UPSC has given the syllabus pretty clear, it is consisting of comprehension, interpersonal skills including communication skills, decision making, problem solving, logical reasoning, analytical abilities. Then general mental ability, basic numeracy, data interpretation. So these are the 7 major ways. So the classification saying that it is about quantitative aptitude, reasoning and comprehension is wrong. In fact, with respect to reading comprehension, which is colloquially known, there is only some 10 to 20% relating to comprehension. Other things are related to interpersonal skills, decision making, even logical reasoning. So you should have fair understanding of each and every term. This is the one thing not done generally by the students and also teachers. You should know what is comprehension, you should know what is reasoning, you should know what is logical reasoning, you should know what is analysis, analytical ability, general mental ability, basic numeracy. You should have clarity with respect to all these terminologies to begin with, which we will be doing as we proceed. So here is the most important thing. Your comprehension, interpersonal skills, communication, decision making, problem solving are tested by passage based questions. Is this clear to you? It is not just about comprehension. Passages test your comprehension, interpersonal skill, decision making. In addition, logical reasoning. Reasoning. What is the assumption? What is the corollary? What is the conclusion? What is the inference you can draw? So the questions themselves, I will show you the questions where they say, which is the logical conclusion? Is the point clear to you? You have got 7 subjects. With respect to the first 4, they are tested by passages. Logical reasoning and analytical ability also tested using numbers. So mental ability, basic numeracy, data interpretation are the other things which are tested through numbers. So here there is a very important thing you may not be aware. If you want to understand all these things in a crystal clear way, you should be going through 2011 paper, where you have got clear demarcation with respect to each of these components. So to understand in the purest form, 2011 UPSC CSAT question should be mastered. Okay. Coming to RC passages, as it is popularly known, it consists of 2 important things which you have to keep in mind. One is with respect to the content or the nature of the passage, another is with respect to types of questions. So I repeat, so in these passages you will have 2 things. One is nature or the content of the passage. It may be with respect to economy, it may be with respect to environment, it may be with respect to social issue, and also type of question. You should be mastering both of these things. Let me explain these things in a simple way. With respect to the content, you will be having content from GS 1, 2, 3, 4. What is GS 1 about? History, culture. What is GS 2 about? It's about polity, social justice. GS 3 is about economy, development, S&T, environment. And GS 4, it is about ethics. So you will be having questions with respect to all these things. And these are the specific areas from which the questions have been coming. So it's about civilization, tradition, social change, democracy, poverty, growth, biodiversity, with respect to justice and other things. So these are the things which are there in your syllabus. So what is the content of the passages? All the things which are there in your GS 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Then coming to the nature of question, a very important one. In all, there are 14 types of questions which have come. This is a very important one. Totally, you have got 14 type of questions. If you go through all the PYQs, so you will be having best explanation. The first question which we saw. Which of the following statements best explain the passage? best explanation, central idea, the crux, corollary, message conveyed, assumptions, implications, summary, conclusion, keynote, tone of the author, practical suggestions, inference. Here one important thing which you have to keep in mind is more than 2/3 of the RC questions come in just 3 type of questions. They are message conveyed, assumptions. Nearly 50% of the questions are assumption based. And the next most important is inference. I repeat, every year with respect to these 3 type of questions, nearly 2/3 of the questions will be there in reading comprehension. Once again, with respect to message conveyed, they are bifurcating, they are specializing, they are making the things crystal clear. They are by asking most logical and rational, pragmatic, crucial. Similarly, with respect to inference, most logical, rational, critical, crucial. Is this clear to you? These are the 3 important types where you have got 2/3 of the weightage. So you should be mastering those things. In the beginning, questions were related to the content which was present in the passage. So if, for example, there is a passage which is dealing with inclusive growth, they would have asked, what are the strategies for inclusive growth? What is inclusive growth according to the passage? If it is about government, they may ask you what constitute an enabling government, what constitute a creative society, what is the definition of morality, what is the definition of moral action according to the passage. These were the types of questions which were asked in the beginning. But of late, as I have told you, the top 3 question types are assumptions, message conveyed, and inference. If you master these things, 2/3 of RC questions you are done with. Okay. So what is the way forward? How to master reading comprehension? Very important. First thing, you have to master, you should know the literal meaning of each question type. What is an assumption? What do you mean by central idea? What do you mean by crux? What do you mean by corollary? What do you mean by message conveyed? What do you mean by inference? So you should master those things first, and you should solve 1 or 2 questions given by UPSC. And most important thing, which is not done by most of the students and also teaching faculty, is with respect to content. As I told you, content are related to subject like environment, economy. In the second part, you should be reading. It's a very important one. You can take this as a secret. You shouldn't be studying reading comprehension questions year-wise. All the questions related to environment given by UPSC should be studied in one stretch. It's a secret. There is a repetition of the content and also nature of question. Not only that, as we proceed, I will show you the same lines which are there in reading comprehension. They have been asked in your preliminary GS examination also, especially environment and also economy. So how to master reading comprehension? Identify the 14 question types, master them. Afterwards, read the specific subject questions with related to a subject in one go. Mean to say, all the environment questions from 2011 till date you should be reading. And yet another one, daily you should be solving 2 to 3 passages. That will be sufficing, right? So here we go with respect to the latest one, 2025. In 2025, we had 29 questions in total. With respect to passage based question, we were having 29. In that, 13 questions were asking about assumptions. 4 about the central idea, 2 about the crux of the passage, 1 about corollary, message conveyed, 8 questions, best explanation, the one which we have studied, which we have discussed in the very beginning, 1 type. As I said, with respect to message conveyed and inference, there are 4 subtypes. With respect to message conveyed, 4 questions were related to critical message conveyed, and 1 question was related to logic and rational message, and 1 question was related to logical, rational and crucial, and 2 questions were related to logical, rational and pragmatic. Here this is the breakthrough. I have gone through each and every question, and in total with respect to 2025 CSAT reading comprehension, you just have only 6 type of questions. There is no other question, only 6 type they have asked. So if you can master these question types and also the subjects, the content in Go, this will be a cakewalk for you. Let me ask you a very important question in line with the things we will be discussing. If I give you a passage and if I ask you to write that passage in 1 sentence, what that passage represent? Is my question clear to you? I give you a passage and ask you to write that passage in 1 sentence. What does passage represent? Exactly, 100%. So this is the one, this is the most important thing. So that represents the core idea, the central idea. So here we will be discussing a question which is given by UPSC. Before that, let us see what is this core idea. Core idea is also called central idea or the main idea. How can we say that something is the main idea? Simple common sense thing. In a passage, if we say something is central, something is core, what does this mean? Yes, entire passage is related to that message. All the sentences, all the exams are related to that. It is the message which the author want to convey. It is not about any example. Example may be different. It is not about a fact. It is not about a finding. It is this message which will be connecting to almost all the sentences, if not all, nearly to 70 to 80% of sentences, right? So this is like the center of a circle. Let me explain you this with a very important thing which you come across in your essay paper. Essay is also one of the paper which is neglected. Many even don't know that section A and section B are entirely different. None of the books say this. This can be got only when you analyze that. Section A is about a central idea, a core concept. Let me explain you with a simple thing which is given in 2025. These are the questions which are given in 2025 essay paper. Now, what is that one most important word in all these things? Or what is this essay all about? Say for example, truth knows no color. What is this essay about? Is it about truth? Is it about knowing? Is it about color? What is the answer? Truth. Second one, supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. What is this essay about? Is it about fighting? Is it about enemy? It is about the supreme art, or is it about war? War. So this question was with respect to war. Then next, thoughts find the word and create one. What is this essay about? It is about thought, it is about thinking, it is about your cognition. Then the last one, little difficult, but you can do it, I know. Best lessons are learned through bitter experience. What is this question about? Is this about best lesson? Is it about learning? Is it about bitter experience? What is this about? Is this experience? way of life. Don't you think it is about learning? See, these are simple things. When you fail to understand what exactly the central idea, you fail to write good answer. So here in this essay you have got a central subject. I have shown you a very important thing. UPSC questions with respect to essay are in this direction. They are asking about truth, they are asking about your thought, they are asking about happiness. So what you should be doing? You should be preparing on those lines. Preparing for women empowerment, preparing for India and the world. Those things are not working because questions have not been coming. The pattern of UPSC essay has changed from 2020. They are asking about truth, they are asking about happiness, they are asking about learning. So these are the things which are there in section A. So what you should be doing? You should be doing one most important thing. How to prepare for essay? Don't read section A and section B together. Read section A in one go. 25, 24, all. Just section A. Afterwards, you come to section B. Right? Similarly, this is with respect to the things. So, core idea, main message, the central idea. In this regard, author wants to tell something finally. It's all about what author wants to tell finally, what author wants you to understand finally. It is like the heart. Heart means most important. Heart is that which is connected to all the parts of the body. Is heart connected to all the parts of the body? Similarly, the core, the crux, the central idea. Just like the center of the circle which holds everything together, the central idea holds all the sentences together. So, if you are saying something is the central idea, what does this mean? It is connecting to all the things which are there in the passage. So, what does this imply? There are some things which you have to keep in mind. RC is, in RC, the central idea is not about a single fact. That may be most important one. Even then, the central idea is not about a single fact, a single example, a minor issue, or the personal opinion. Is the things clear to you? If at all, if you come across these things, you can just simply remove those options. It's about the central thing, the main thing, the core thing. It's not about a narrow, specific thing. It's not an example, it's not a fact, it's not a minor thing, it's not a personal opinion. Then what is it? It is all about the whole passage, the oral argument, that which connects to all the sentences. And very important, a clue. Generally, conclusions are given in the last. Generally, when do you conclude? You give an argument, say for example, you want to convey something to your friend. So, will you tell the conclusion in the very beginning? No, you will give the introduction, you will give examples, you will have arguments. Afterwards, you conclude a thing. Generally, this is the one. Now, here we go with yet another question. This was the first question with respect to UPSC 2025 CSAT. Direction for the following item. Read the following passages and answer the item that follow the passage. The answers to these items should be based on the passage only. So, here we go. I will be giving time to you. Read it. Here, this is the opportunity to gauge where you stand. Take your time. So it's a fact finding, not fault finding, and you should be telling the answer also. Done with? You need some more time? So what is the answer according to you? Take your time. What is the answer? Okay. Now, so how? What is the basic step to solve RC based question? First, you should have the central idea, the core idea. What is it is talking about? Afterwards, same with the options. Afterwards, what you should be doing? Elimination. So let's go. Let's get started. One of the best ways, exam oriented way, the one which is followed by toppers and the people who does this question correct. They have the first core idea of passages and also options. Afterwards, elimination. So here we go. In our country, regrettably, unfortunately, teaching and learning for the examination have been our forte, means expertise. So here one important thing, once again, you should be reading from one full stop to another full stop, means one sentence at a time. A sentence has a meaning, a sentence has a direction, a sentence has a concept. So what is the first line saying? In our country, unfortunately means that which is not good. ऐसा नहीं होना था. Unfortunately, teaching and learning for the exams have become our expertise. So what are the teachers teaching? They are teaching for exam. What are the students doing? They are preparing for the exam. That's it. Both teaching and also reading. But the new demands of the society, the future, AI, things have come in a big way. New demands of the society and the future work, AI. Does AI require the same skills?
No.
So here, future demands of the society and the future work requires critical thinking. Critically explain, what does it mean? You should have all the dimensions, positive, negative, assumptions, everything. So what is required is critical thinking, independent thinking, you thinking on your own. What is the best way to learn CSAT? Any question? First you should solve. Why? It is the base of independent thinking. Many students have cleared UPSC exams on their own without taking any coaching. Why? They develop these things, they do critical thinking, they do independent thinking. Then learning through doing, learning by doing, asking questions from multiple disciplinary perspective on the same issue. Best way to learn anything is asking questions. So you should be asking question multidisciplinarily, from sociology perspective, psychology perspective, from political perspective, from economic perspective, from all the perspective, using evidence for building arguments and reflecting and articulation. So is the first sentence clear to you? Unfortunately, we are teaching and studying for the examination, but what is required is critical thinking, analysis, asking questions, reflecting, articulation. Continuation of that, higher education should not either be a mere servant of government policies. It should not be a servant of government policies, what government want to have in policies, or a passive respondent to the public mood. So higher education should not reflect what people want, public mood, what people like. It should also not be the servant of government policies. Higher education, higher learning is all about how to think. It's all about how to think, critical analysis, how to think. The whole thing is about how to think. So how to think, how to learn, how to have perspectives. Higher education, higher learning is all about how to think rather than what to think. Teaching has to be reinvented. So this is the passage. Now, eliminating the options. First one, to begin with, which one of the following statements best reflect the central idea conveyed by the passage? What is central idea? Main idea, core idea, that which connects to each and everything which is there in the passage. First one, India does not have enough resources for promoting quality education in its universities. The passage never mentions this. So here, what is the central idea here? What is the central idea? Learning process. We are following wrong method, wrong things, wrong ways. Why they are wrong? Because future of the society, future things require something different. So what is that they are saying? Okay, that will be the answer, like we will come to that. So what is this, what is the central idea of the first question? India does not have enough resources for promoting quality education in its universities. Absolutely wrong. Then second one, the institutions of higher learning in the country should not be under the control of the government. So here it's given, higher education should not either be a mere servant of the government policy. So now, forget about the question. Do we have this content here in the passage? Yes, we have this one, but this is not the central idea. This is not the main idea. This is not the core idea. Classroom approach to higher education should be done away with. Is this the correct one? They are not talking about the classroom approach. They are talking about the way of teaching. So they never say that classroom should be abandoned. So what is the answer? So here, classrooms need to be reimagined and teachings to be reinvented. So this is the way you should be solving. If you solve on a consistent basis the UPSC questions, definitely this will be a cakewalk for you. So what you should be doing? There are 14 types of questions. You should be having a mastery over those things. Afterwards, you should be reading all the case studies, all the passages relating to a subject in one go. So if you have got any doubt, please let me know. So the same thing here, elimination of the things. First one, resource problem, it is never mentioned. Second, government control, mentioned, but that is not the main theme. The third one, classroom approach should be done away with. It's too extreme and it's not the one. Reinventing the classrooms and the teaching pedagogy is the correct answer. Okay? If you have got any doubts, please let me know. In our next session, we'll be taking up assumptions. More than 40 to 50% of reading comprehension based questions are related to assumptions. What does assumption means? Why are they focusing more on assumptions? Why most of the questions are related to assumptions? Assumptions are the only questions which have been there from the very beginning, 2011 till 2025. In every year, you have got assumption based questions. So we'll discuss all these things in detail in our next session. Have a great day. Enjoy your preparation. Thank you.